What's up there guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Rick and you're watching Fanfare for the Conscious. In the video today, I'm going to be talking about lawful sovereign currency. Let's dive in. So today I'm going to be talking about what I hope will one day replace this system of fiat currency and banking fraud, and it's what I would like to call lawful sovereign currency. And I believe that there's a few fundamental things that lawful sovereign currency should do, and this is why, and I'll talk about at the end, why I advocate for a time-based currency rather than a gold-backed or silver-backed or commodity-backed currency, so to speak. So a lawful sovereign currency must be backed by an asset. There must be something tangible with which that currency item can be traded. It must be created by the people. Everyone must have equal rights to and responsibilities to create a lawful currency to stop it falling into the hands of wrongdoers and those susceptible to corruption. It must also hold or increase in value over time in order to ensure security of savings. And there is one further thing that I've not actually put on my board, and it just occurred to me when I hit the record button. Well, I'm going to mention it now, and I didn't put it on the board because I felt it's kind of obvious now that I think about it, but a lawful sovereign currency should facilitate free trade between all. So when I'm talking about being backed by an asset, what do I mean? Well, like I say before, there's got to be something tangible. There has to be something with which that currency is associated. If it is to be worth anything, then it has to be attached to it. So a lot of people will talk about gold and silver and other precious metals as being a great way of backing a currency. And again, I can see the argument. At the moment, they are, considered precious. They are considered extremely useful. But the problem is, with any commodity, that commodity is necessarily going to fluctuate over time, depending on rarity and usability. Those are the two primary factors. And demand. Yeah, three things. So how rare is it? How useful is it? And how much in demand is it? All three of those factors would come together to determine the value of that given asset or commodity, shall we say. The problem with this is that when you're talking about a commodity, then you can necessarily have monopolies arise and certain people can collude with each other in order to manipulate the markets. So this is why we come on to the sub ideas of what this asset has to be. And the asset must be universally available. Every single person must have access to that asset. If it is going to be created by the people, then everybody must have that asset available to back the currency up. The second thing it must do is that asset itself must be incorruptible or uncorruptible. And what that means is the asset itself, the value of it, should not be able to be artificially manipulated in order to serve one person over another. And that's a very, very important point. The less corruptibility that is built into a system, the less corruption you will see. So we have to start, when we're creating this currency, we have to make that currency as uncorruptible as possible. And then we come to being created by the people. All must have equal rights of creation. Everybody should be able to equally create that currency based off the universally available asset. And everyone must have equal responsibility for creation. So everybody should be liable for every currency token that they create. Thus, if someone creates those currency tokens fraudulently, they should be punished for it, as that is a crime of fraud. That is lying. It is not being truthful. And that is one of the three tenets of natural law. You'd also arguably be causing loss by defrauding people as well. So you've got two tenets there of natural law that you're being broken, and this is where your responsibility for the creation of currency comes into it. The third thing that the currency needs to do is hold or increase in value over time. And this is very important because we need to ensure the security of savings. If people are trying to put away money for their pension or whatever so that they can survive in their later years without having to, manually labour or whatever else, then that currency needs to hold its value, at the very least. Because if it doesn't hold its value, then you cannot be sure that any money that you put away for your retirement will ever be able to actually support you in the future when you get there. Even better, if it increases in value. If 1 unit of whatever currency now buys you 10 of something, in the future it should be able to buy you more of something. And this comes into the ideas of driving the increase in quality of life and the natural appreciation of the currency in itself. So the currency itself should naturally appreciate or deflate. That's a word you've never heard in economics before. Deflate. We're always talking about inflation, inflation, inflation. And as much as inflation seems like a growing, what it actually is a shrinking. It's some interesting wordplay because what it means is each individual currency unit is shrinking in value. Why does that happen? Because you're increasing the amount of currency in circulation. And that currency in circulation still only represents, in total, the entire economy. Thus, the more of something there is, the less valuable each of those things has become. The currency should drive an increase in quality of life. It should make things cheaper. It should make it easier for people to live. It should make it easier for people to have more luxuries in life, while of course still taking care of the planet by the base tenets of causing no harm and causing no loss. Which means we cannot have a drive for profit above all else. This comes into corporatism, which I shall discuss in another video at a later time. But for now, let's stick with sovereign currency. So why do I think time is the ideal asset by which we back our currency? Well, time is universally available and it is incorruptible. Dealing with these first 2 points. Everybody has time to offer. And if we accept that everybody also has at least one useful skill, if not many useful skills that they are able to offer, from basic labouring up to mathematical calculations or scientific study or whatever else, if it accepts that everybody has a useful skill to offer society and all those skills are required for a properly functioning society, then everybody's got it available and everybody can use their time to create currency through their good works. Example, builder builds a wall for me and spends 5 hours building that wall. I pay him 5 hours because he has used 5 of his hours in order to create that labour. All should have equal rights and responsibilities over the currency itself. Well, again, if everybody has the asset and everybody is backing that asset with their own time, and everybody, according to natural law, takes responsibility for their own actions, then everybody has not only equal rights, but equal responsibilities over the creation of that currency. Time also naturally drives efficiency and deflates over time. The basic idea behind this is that people are always going to be looking for greater value. In the example of the builder before, if there is another builder who can build the same wall in 4 hours, then I'm more likely to trade with the builder who can do it in 4 hours than I am with the builder that can do it in 5 hours. It is costing less time in order to do that. By the same token, if you're talking about a potato farmer and one potato farmer can offer you £5 of high quality potatoes for that time, and another farmer can only offer you £5 of a lower quality potato for the same amount of time, then you're more likely to go with the high quality potatoes. And thus, over time, efficiency is driven and things get cheaper. Hopefully to the point where we are living in a utopia where people realise that there's not even really much worth using money because everything we could want or need is so freely available that the whole idea of charging anybody for anything seems a bit ridiculous. Thank you very much for watching. If indeed you still are, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content just like this. Thumbs up appreciated. Set that bell notification icon to all to make sure you're always kept up to date with my uploads on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. UK time. If you want to speak to me in person and debate or discuss any of the points that I've raised in these videos, please head over to lawfulbank.com. It's our Lawful Sovereign social media and communications site. Take care of yourselves, guys. Don't forget to stay free, think free, and act free, and I will see you next time.